What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and talk about Angie Stone yet again, because I've gotten some information that I wasn't privy to. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but I've been talking to a lady from South Carolina, as you guys know. And last night we had a conversation about some of the things that Angie Stone experienced throughout the music industry during her tenure. And one thing that she talked about is the fact that Oprah did a neo soul special back in the days, right? And Alicia Keys was on there, Jill Scott was on there, and also I believe she said India Arie, right? But Angie was not invited to perform on Oprah's show because Clive Davis said that she was too heavy. And that really upset Angie. And as she put it, the woman that I'm talking to, she said basically Angie cried for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, that could be just a little bit over exaggerated, but she's telling me that Angie was really hurt by the fact that Clive Davis actually had an issue with her image and her weight. And these are some of the same ladies that she gave the nod to be signed to these record labels. As you guys know, that I relayed to you in a video that I did a few days ago, that Angie set in on auditions with Clive Davis and gave the nod to a Jill Scott and a Alicia Keys to be signed. And so for these individuals to be signed and to be honored on Oprah's show, and the same person that was looking for your assessment on these artists decides to decline you an opportunity for you to go on the Oprah show, for you to get that exposure, is nothing short of demoralizing and unnerving. Now, another thing that was brought to my attention is the fact that Alicia Keys has allegedly made some remarks about Angie's look. And without me going into further detail, because if it's true, it's very disparaging, I'm just gonna say this, right? You guys remember what Evelyn compared OG to on Basketball Wives, right? So this is what I'm hearing that Alicia Keys said about Angie Stone. And she even mimicked the gestures of the particular beast and how they walk and how they drag their knuckles. I'm just saying, allegedly, I don't know if that's true, but that's what's been told to me. Now, I want to turn my attention to a guy by the name of Stone Paxton, who comes across as a very intelligent brother, a very informative brother, and he was close to Angie Stone due to the fact that his team was helping Angie uncover what the hell happened to her publishing. And he talks about some things. He doesn't go into depth about a lot because at the end of the day, he doesn't want to expose the conversations between him and Angie. But he says that he has receipts, he has recorded phone calls about what happened to certain credits that Angie should have received, and so forth and so on. And he even alludes to the fact that he knows pretty much what happened in regards to the wreck that took place that unfortunately took Angie Stone's life. So guys, I want you to check out this clip and I'll be back.
What's up, you guys? Stone Paxton here, and I wanted to get on TikTok, Instagram, all the other social media things, and I wanted to have a small little conversation about Angie Stone because I've been getting so many messages on my from my YouTube video and the Instagram video and the TikTok video as well, with people asking me what my involvement was with Angie. And that involvement is when you hear her, and it's because when Angie was talking on one of her videos, a few of her videos, she mentioned my name. And when she speaks of the Diesel crew, she's talking about us, the West Coast crew. And she talks about her team that has discovered things and has unveiled things for her. We took over doing the forensic for finding her songs that were missing that she couldn't find. And you know, it's weird because it was a process, and it was week after week. We were on the phone, we were talking and blah blah, you from one end to the other spectrum when it comes to the music industry. And we did discover a lot of her stuff that was not in her name, and we were the ones that actually had to let her know. The company that I worked for, the TBC Group, my big brother Vasal Benford, the CEO of the TBC Group and TBC Group Management, we were the ones that took over finding the songs, shall I say. I'm trying to make sure I say the right word, because I don't want anybody to see this video and then they'll take the video and run with it and take parts from it. We were the ones that decided to go and search and find where her publishing was. And we started discovering various things, various situations with her publishing and what was going on with it. And we presented it to her and told her that there was no publishing in her name. And then there were some songs that she had done through the years that weren't even registered in her name, that had never been registered. But we started to find stuff that didn't make sense, per se, right? I'm not mentioning any names. We're just going to talk in general. Angie was very sharp. Although she didn't know full details, she knew something wasn't right. And that's why we came on board. Not only that, we were also the ones that were setting up her residency, the TBC Group Management, TBC Group Entertainment, okay? Setting up her residency for Las Vegas. We were 1 week out from that before Angie passed. We were going to fly her out here and have her do her paperwork for her residency in Las Vegas. And the whole purpose, so that you understand, for her residency in Las Vegas was so that she did not have to tour. She didn't want to be on the road anymore. These were her feelings. These were her thoughts. She just wanted to be in one place because of her health issues. She wanted to be in one place. She didn't want to be going from here to there. And I kind of, I cried. I've cried so many days because I was saying to myself, I wish that we had closed on her residency and she wouldn't have had to be on the road. She would have never had to have been on the road, which this accident would have never happened, because it would have been a different time, different process, different circumstance, different universal law. Had she been here in Vegas doing her residency, thus she would still be here. These things would have never happened. That's my belief, okay? So Angie did not want to be on the road touring, and that's a fact. Now, I'm not telling you something I heard from YouTube. I'm not telling you something that I went on another blogger's page and I found and I decided to share this. No, I'm telling you something from the circle, from the inside, from the group that was representing her. So when she say Diesel crew, she was talking about her West Coast crew, she was talking about us. We were the ones that came on and discovered, and we were ones that told her that none of these songs were in her name. We were the ones that told her that the publishing was somewhere else. You know what I mean? And we had various calls with people that were involved with her on the legal side of things, and people that were involved with her on the publishing side of things. And she made me record these phone calls, you guys. She would call me and say, Stoney, I'm going to call you back. Because we would call each other Stoney. I would call her Stoney. She called me Stoney. It's a nickname she made up for me. We just call each other Stoney, right? She said, that's our inside thing. So she would call me and she said, Stoney, I'm going to call you, but I want you to record this phone call. So I have phone calls, recorded phone calls with conversations about her publishing that she had with certain industry people and some of her legal people. I have those recorded calls. Now, will I ever post those calls? Absolutely not. Because those calls were strictly for Angie, not for anybody to hear, period. I would never post those phone calls, just so you guys know. But I do have those calls, right? We also did a agreement with Angie to be able to go after her publishing and collect, the TBC Group. We have an agreement, signed agreement to represent her and to go out and collect all of that publishing for her. So that's my involvement. The only reason I got on camera and I'm doing this is because so many people have inboxed me from my YouTube video and the TikTok video, and they're saying, hey man, I heard Angie mention your name. Like, what's your involvement with her? I heard her say Stone Paxton. And so many people are asking me. I said, you know what? I wasn't going to do a video, but let me get on here and just tell people what our involvement was. Now, as far as that accident, I know a lot about that, and I'm not going to talk about that right now, but trust and believe, I'm definitely going to talk about that. And I'm going to share some things with you, but I'm not going to talk now. And this is my truth, because I know about certain things, because I was privy for being involved in the circle and helping her gain her publishing back and find where her songs were and help her get her catalog back. I was a part of that team. I've been a part of that team helping her do that. So that's how my name got brought into the equation as far as just Angie mentioning my diesel crew, and she's mentioning Stone Paxton and my big brother Basal and the TBC group. That's why she mentioned our names, because we were helping her. We were helping Angie. And I would talk to Angie 3 or 4 days a week in long hours when I talked to her. These weren't short phone calls. These weren't 1 minute phone calls. These were typically anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, sometimes 3 hour calls, conversations with Angie, talking about her business and the publishing. And she was very upset about so many people that had taken her songs and taken credit for it, never gave her credit. We have conversations about all kinds of stuff, even text conversations I could post. I would never post my personal text conversations with her, but we have tons of back and forth text conversations about tons of things, music industry, topics. You know what I mean? Tons of things. Sorry, something's on my hand here. So I had to get on here and just explain to you guys, for those that keep messaging me, asking me questions about Angie and what's my involvement with Angie. That's my involvement. Is I was a part of the team, the diesel crew that she mentioned. And it's unfortunate that that particular name she used, you know, if you knew Angie, she was a person of words. She was a poet. Everything rhymed, everything it flowed, everything always made sense with her. Words flowed. So it's just coincidental she mentioned that name and mentioned us as a diesel crew. And then what happened to her, you know, we're very bothered by her not being here. But just so you know, when she says diesel crew, for all your conspiracy people out there, we are the diesel crew, and whatever is in your mind and thoughts, far from that, you guys. And give the family a break, you guys. You guys have been on here for these conspiracy people. You guys really don't have no love for people's privacy and the family, and you're on here saying negative stuff about the family. You got to put yourself in that position. How would you feel if somebody was talking about your loved one and then also saying negative stuff about you at the same time? So have consideration, you guys. If you don't know really what has happened, you're speculating constantly, but you're also throwing things out there that are not even true. If you want to know, let the people talk that know first. Let the people that are involved talk, and then you'll know the truth. But other than that, all these people trying to get views and likes for, you know, saying things that they don't even know about. I done seen psychics saying stuff. Now, I will say, some of those psychics have said things that I've said, they kind of on point, right? But yeah, man, it's very, very, there's this huge dynamic with this. And trust me, this thing with Angie is not over with. My love and condolences goes out to the kids. The memorial is tomorrow. The viewing is Thursday, and memorial's Thursday. The viewing is Friday, and the funeral is Saturday. So, yeah, man, I still have to prepare myself if I want to get on an airplane with all these planes doing what they're doing. I don't even know, you guys, but for the love of Angie Stone, you guys, we love her. And I'm Stone Paxton, and that's why she mentioned my name. And yeah, man, this has a part 2 to it. So I will be back, all right, with other information. Peace and love, you guys.
All right, so you guys heard what Stone Paxton had to say about the situation, and there were several things that stood out. The first thing that stood out to me is the fact that he says that he has more knowledge surrounding the Angie Stone accident. And then another thing that stood out is the fact that he talked about the phone calls that were recorded that Angie made him record, right, for their file cabinets and things of that nature, to have some type of evidence if things went to court. And I'm just going to say this: we have to protect Stone Paxton at all costs, because if it's dealing with Angie Stone, there has to be some ties to Clive Davis. And it just seems like everybody that deals with Clive Davis, especially female, and I'm talking about popular female artists, from Janis Joplin to Phyllis Hyman to Whitney Houston and Angie Stone now, right? Now, that's not to say that there haven't been male artists that have come up missing under Clive Davis's watch, but you guys get what I'm trying to say here. Now, another thing that was interesting to me is the fact that he criticized the conspiracy theories out there, and I get where he's coming from, but he also kind of praised the psychics that have been spot on with their assessment as it pertains to the passing of Angie Stone. And it just goes to show that not everything is a conspiracy theory when you have a gift from God, and especially when God leads you to that conclusion that this is what happened to whatever individual that was involved now, another thing in whatever situation. And listen, what I'm about to reiterate doesn't mean that he's talking about this situation. I'm pretty sure that he could be talking about a plethora of things because he was that close to Angie. But remember, when this woman sent me this information the other day, I read to you about certain things that there were disputes about. And one of those things were in regards to credit for songs that Angie was not receiving. And I'm gonna just read this last part of this actual DM that I received. Angie has said on numerous occasions that she has always heard disparaging remarks that came from Jill about her looks, disputes about song credits. So there was some disputes about song credits because Angie wasn't getting credit for certain songs that she had wrote. Now, something that I forgot to implement in the beginning of this video as I was talking about Alicia Keys and the Angie Stone situation, there was something that jumped off this kind of a disdain that they may have had for one another. And it's because Angie Stone was working on an album called Diary of a Soul Sister, and Clive Davis told her that she needed to change the album, the title of the album, because Alicia Keys was putting out an album called The Diary of Alicia Keys. And also Clive Davis cut the budget for Angie Stone's album, which kind of made it impossible for her to carry on and move on to be able to produce this album because the budget was cut. So this is what this fine lady is telling me that's close to the Angie Stone situation. I never heard about this, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and say that her information is false. So this is why I'm going to say that it's alleged, okay? But anyway, I know this was a long video. I thank you all for sticking with me to the end if you made it this far. And so now I just want to hear what you guys have to say about everything that you heard within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share. And if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.